2 more standing poses on the docket for us, but this does signify our movement into a more of a steady stretch for the latter half of today's class. Let's do 2 more rounds of cat and cow. And then go back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot in between your hands. Pyramid pose. Make both legs straight, little shorter stride. Turn the back toes in so that the big toe faces that front corner, left corner of the mat. Hands could stay down or come higher depending on what works best for you here. Do try to press down and out through the feet and keep a nice long spine. Drop the hands back down, bend the knees into your low lunge. Take both hands to the inside of your right foot, which means you could also spin that right foot out to the side. Drop your left knee to the mat, and then come down to flat palms, or all the way down to the forearms. If you have a yoga block handy and want to use it, it can always be propped underneath the hands, forearms, for more ease in reaching that mid-level. This is our humble or forearm lunge. Your choice today if you're keeping the toes pointed straight ahead or turning them out to the side of the mat. Just make sure your knee follows the same direction as the middle of your foot at all times. Then we're gonna build it back up. Switch to the second side for that pyramid pose. So left foot forward, right foot back. And then a little hop in. Line up about heel to heel, spin the back foot down. Big toe pointed towards that right corner of the mat. And again, the hands can be down, rested on the ground if that works for your flexibility and range of motion. Feel free to have them higher. And hands off the ground, it's gonna make you do a little bit more belly engagement, so maybe that's just what you're going for. Think head towards the ankle versus head to the knee. It'll help you keep the spine long here. All right, and then we do bend the knees to transition back into your low lunge. Hands to the inside of your foot, heel toe that left foot out to the side so you have a little bit more space. And we're dropping that back knee down. Okay, you find your way here. Flat palms, a bend to the elbow, maybe down to the right forearm. Sometimes I just kind of rest on one forearm, the outside arm. That gives me what I need for the day. Remember, if you do decide to turn the left toes out, make sure the left knee turns out at that same rate. Breath, oh so important, nice and slow. And then again, gradually work it back up to your hands. Heel toe your foot into the center, lift the back knee, and step both feet to the front end of the mat. Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. I do want you to bend your knees enough to make all 10 fingers touch the ground. And then keeping the fingers down, we lift through the back side of the legs. long spine, but you can send your head more down towards the mat. Nice ways to modify or find variations in this pose, or to simply take the feet a little bit wider, give the belly and thighs a little bit more space. Sometimes that offers the right stretch through the back of the hamstring, back of the thighs into the hamstrings and low back. Just a little more space. Other options are blocks under the hands, or just keeping more bend behind the knees so that you don't contract in the spine. I had mentioned 2 more standing postures. It was pyramid pose and right here. Uttanasana is the second standing posture. Stay with it. And then take your hands to your waist, point your elbows straight up towards the sky, press down into your feet, and come all the way up. Good. If you're not feeling dizzy, still feeling good here, let's reach the arms up to the sky. If you feel the least bit dizzy, just stay with hands down by your side with a little bend behind your knees for mountain pose, or even go right into a seated position. All right, if you're with me with hands up here, look in between the hands. Push your hips just a little bit forward as you lean, even just slightly back. And neutral spine, lower the hands down and sit down. Okay, so as we find our full seated position here, flex your feet, point the toes straight up to the sky, take your hands by your side and Dandasana. And then just like we did in that lifted leg, change to a pointed toe and lift your right leg as high as you can without the use of your arms, and then hold under your thigh and lift it up higher. Try to keep the leg lifted, torso just vertical as possible, and lower the hands back down by your side. And then lower the leg all the way down. Always need a little bit of a shake in between, maybe a massage of the legs if you feel any catch or cramp. When you're ready, second side, we start with that nice long spine, and then lift the left foot, left leg. Give it a helping hand, higher. Try to keep as much as works here. And lower the hands back down. And then lower the leg down. Good, similar-ish thing, but now you're gonna grab both hands around the foot and lift the leg as high as you can into this big toe hold. So big toe hold, first 2 fingers and thumbs, hold around that big toe. Left hand can come back down to your waist. Help it all the way back down to the mat. While you're over, hold on to your left leg. I like to use both hands to give it that big lift up. And then first 2 fingers and thumb, hold on around the big toe, keeping the leg as straight as we can, back as upright as possible. I tend to want to lean way back and have to remind myself, hips back, butt back, head tall. Right hand to the waist, hold it here. Some stretch, lots of core strength happening, and lower the leg all the way down. Okay, we're gonna do 2 legs at the same time. Start with your knees bent. And then again, that big toe hold, first 2 fingers and thumb, wrap it around your big toe. I have to pull my heels way in here so that I can feel a sense of balance, as forward on your sit bones as possible, but know that you're gonna rock back to lift the feet off of the mat. And then go for straighter legs. Look past your toes. Lift, lift, lift. If you fall, just try it again. And then can you come into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out to the side, and fold over to make your forehead come close to your toes. Now we're going to kind of flow in between these two poses. Lift your torso, feet off of the ground, straighten the legs, try to squeeze inner edges of the feet and thighs together in that big toe hold. As much as you can, keep hold of the big toes and go back into Baddha Konasana, nose towards your toes. We're doing that flow 2 more times. Lift the torso. Lift the legs and straighten. Bound angle. Soles of the feet together. Fold over. 1 more time. Lift the torso. Straighten the legs. Lift. Soles of the feet together. Bound angle. Fold over. You can release your big toe hold and just stay in your bound angle pose here. If you'd rather be upright or with the hands back behind you in this pose, feel free. And then come back upright. We're still playing on variations of this. Extend your right leg now straight ahead of you. And try to pull your left knee behind the line of your shoulder for that backpack strap wrap. Hands down, fold forward, and try to really hook the shin over your upper arm bone. I'm not lifting anything off of the mat today. I'm just in this rounded pose here. Thinking more about this stretch. And then you're gonna unhook the backpack strap and try to talk on the phone to that left foot. Hello, anyone there? Then release the leg all the way down. And we pull the your right foot in now, like tree pose. So we're getting into that second side. Left leg should be extended. And then we change it to its backpack strap. Try to pull the knee back behind and hook the leg on top of the upper arm bone. Clamp down, shin towards the floor, hands on either side of your body, and look down at the floor here. This is a rounded back, like cat pose. And we're not trying to lift up unless you just really want to. But name of the game here is opening in the hips. Okay, and then we come more upright in the torso again and use both hands to help pull the right foot towards our ear. Listen in, maybe it's more like a conch shell. And this is a really big external rotation in the hip that's being called for. And then release the leg all the way back down and give it a little bit of a pat out. One more time, back to bound angle, soles of the feet together. This time keep the hands behind you and lift the torso nice and tall. And then as you release, we're gonna lean over towards the left side and pull the right heel back towards the right hip so that you'll end up kind of in a Z sit, but we're trying to get into a quad stretch on that right leg. and you have to extend your left leg straight. So again, we're starting with the right leg folded in, left leg extended out straight. Can you hold on to your left foot? If I could, I would take it right from here and lift up. We've done some of that work for the hip flexor today, but if that's not working, reminder that we did that big toe hold with the sole of the foot in first, and then you try to hold on to it, big toe hold, or I like to use both hands now around the edges of both feet to lift the left leg high. In a perfect world, I would be incredibly vertical right up on the hips, or sitting up on a block to make that happen. The variation, I'm allowing myself to lean a little bit back so that it works in the hips, knee, ankle, of both feet. And then you're gonna set it back down. If you lean back over to the left side, you should be able to free up your right leg. And then we try it over to the other side. So now I'm gonna lean over towards my right side and kick the left heel towards the butt. It's like half hero pose or Virasana. You're trying to get into that nice long quad stretch. My thighs tend to turn in a lot. So sometimes if I just allow the knee to move more out to the side, I can stay more upright on both sides of the hips. So that's a nice little adjustment as well. Okay, we're trying to get that right extended leg to lift up. So one variation would be lift up, no hands. Another is to take that bend of the knee and then straighten the leg as you lift. These are tricky, I think. Do the best that we can. Not a should or shouldn't way to be, but simply how it's coming at us. And then release, roll off towards your right side so that you can extend left leg. Both legs straight out. Seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Reach towards your feet. Everything we've done today is sort of bits and pieces of the Yoga Hour Sequence 6, and I'll be playing around with this throughout the entire week, mixing and matching it in different ways for the different styles of practice. All right, from here we can shift to lie down onto our back. Hug the knees into the chest. And then stamp your left foot flat down on the ground and send the right leg straight up to the sky. Hold on either side of the foot or hold more towards the calf or thigh. So this is the same variation of the pose that we just did, seated. Variation of the pose that we worked on, that elevated locust with the leg up, standing. Always good, I think, to check out how it works in different planes of the body. Of course, a stretch you know here quite well. We'll extend the left leg now straight so that the heel finds the ground or close to it. Like you're doing the splits on the ceiling. And then walk it back, sole of the left foot. Take it into your figure 4 shape. Right ankle over the left thigh, point the knee out to the side, and pull both legs in. The thread to hold under your left thigh or on top of the left shin. Okay, friends, both feet back down onto the mat. Feel free to do a little windshield wiper from side to side, letting your knees just kind of fall side to side. And then we get to do our second side. So if you leave the sole of the right foot on the ground, stretch the left leg straight up into the air. And hold on, if you can, all the way around the foot. And then stretch the right leg straight. Heel just barely graze the ground there. And take the sole of the foot back down. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Point the knee out to the side. For your figure four. As ever, we can bring that right leg in. Thread the arms if we want a little bit more. Good, as you set both feet back down to the mat. Again, a little windshield wiper side to side. And hug your knees back into the chest. Friends, this is a good time to add in any last stretch, movement, pose that you'd like to really round out your time on the yoga mat today. Maybe it's one more supine twist. Maybe it's an inversion of your choice. Unsure, I'm going to offer bridge pose to you right here to stretch out the top side of the body after so much work in hips and thighs. Just press down through the feet and lift through the hips and torso and chest. And then no rush, but as you are kind of done with that last bit of movement, pose or stretch, find your way to Shavasana. Of course, traditional Shavasana, lie down on your back, extend the arms and legs by your side. If you prefer a seat, works too. We're just looking for some stillness here. Time to be still in the outer form of the body so we can continue to explore within breath, mind. As you settle into the stillness, I'll share one more time these words from Dani Shapiro. Let go of every should or shouldn't running through your mind when you start. Be willing to stand at the base of a new mountain and with humility and grace bow to it. Allow yourself to understand that it's bigger than you or anything you can possibly imagine. You're not sure of the path. You're not even sure where the next step will take you. When you begin, whisper to yourself, I don't know. Take your time now to come back to a seated position if not already. Perhaps a moment to marvel at this seat. You're here, able to practice, able to move. To be in community with others as you practice through this shared space. And then close palms together, thumbs to the sternum. No should, no shouldn't. Open to what lies ahead. Let's send the sound Om as a bit of embrace of I don't know. Sing along, listen, or tune it out here. Empty the breath. Take a deep breath in. You, each other in this practice. Much gratitude. Thank you.